Hello, my hosts, and welcome to another Unity programming stream. So, today we are going to be working on the code that allows us to set the colors for the text depending on who is posting it. For example, with the current system, if I say something, a channel owner comment, and just give a second. Come on. There it goes. See how my name is in sort of bright orange? So what we want is the equivalent feature. And if somebody else is watching and they comment, they will get a comment in a different color. So let's go into Unity and see here we go in Unity. Now, one of the limitations we've worked out with this system is that one of the limitations we worked out is we can't actually set the fonts easily with the system we've got. So, we are going to have to work out how to fix that as well. We might have to once again change the image rendering code. But let's just give it a run and check that it hasn't bit rotted while we are being away. So it comes up. Oh. I'm going to have to adjust something about that because that's over bright and you can't actually see anything. Is there a... I think the problem is we cranked up contrast. See if we reduce that a little bit. Okay. Now, I suspect the fact that the reason why we're not getting that, the reason we are getting the whole color equals is that we have broken something. So let's check our code. Also could be that we don't have the string in place at the moment that tells us what the color should be. So let's fix that. Where would that be? It's been a while since we wrote this code. Canvas. Graphic Recaster. No, that's not it. Text. Is there anything in the text? controls, fence system. Here's the settings that we're going to put the colours in. And we also discovered that we can't set the background colours, so we'll have to fix that as well. Right. Here it is, a simple scroll. So, and how do we edit that simple scroll? And settings, where is simple scroll? There it is. Into Visual Studio. It should load up. I'm gonna have to drag these. I don't want to update yet. Okay. Bring this over here. Right. So, color equals close color. So it's just the fact that we don't have and once again, I'm going to have to it's really irritating, the fact that YouTube tends to make things darker than they should be. I have to change the properties. Let's see. Let's see if we can just pump it up a little bit. Filters. So I want things to be readable. Does that improve things? I am not entirely sure. Yeah, that looks readable. Right. So I think it is the fact that the value isn't filled in, but we'll check that that assumption is what's going on. So let's go back to Unity, and in settings, I'm going to put author foreground as yellow. Then when we run it, let's see what happens. Okay. What that tells me is that in our code, where we get the color, so get author color, get author color, we have got to wrap it up and settings chat color here. We're going to then say how are we going to do this nicely? I think we'll do just a simple. Okay. Right. So string equals can we do that? Dot length greater than 0. We go like that. Else white. Does why would I ever want to refactor it like that? Okay. Let's run that. Excellent. That's behavior we already knew worked. So if we then go to the settings, remove that value, run it again. No. I'm wondering why that is. Did we save? It's the eternal problem. Okay. Ah. Might help. We actually use the variable that we introduced. Let's run this again. And the default behavior works. Next step is to add a user interface to allow us to set those things. So we have quit. Let's duplicate that. We'll rename it as settings, and we will move it upwards. And change all the text inside of it. So settings, text, settings. Right. And I'm going to have to remember how to, so that handled by that, or I'm trying to remember how we actually do the buttons, because it's been basically a fortnight since I have settings automatic. Ah, right. And so I'm going to add another component. Be a new script. We'll call this one Hi V7. It's good to see you. I am going quite well. And we also have Stardust Ocean. It's good to see you both here. So, gonna call this one Launch Settings Menu. Create an ad. We go into settings. We will change this on click behavior from, okay. So we'll change that to game object, quit me, launch the instance. This one is quit me on button press, and this one will be quit me on button presses. Will be on button press. So we're gonna have to add that to that code. What I am doing is see how at the moment I am displaying chat. Oh, am I displaying chat? I'm not displaying chat on display on the screen, or I should be. Actually, I am not. Okay, chat's being displayed on screen up around here. That's being done via a really hacky way that uses basically uses a web site that keeps pulling off of YouTube, and I'm changing that to make use of that's fine. Yeah, and I'm making use of the API. Why do I keep using the same description? Because some of it is consistent across everything, and sometimes I forget to change it. That's basically the reason why. And now, so I'll show you what it does. when I tell it to run, it actually will display all of chat, and that will dynamically update as it's running. So if I say something, it will pop up on the screen there, and then I can capture that using OBS and display it. So, and at the moment I am working on allowing me to set various colors for the various things inside that chat. So if we go into Quit Me, I'm going to copy this. Copy that code and put it into the other one. So settings, that's not the one I want launch settings. Right, so Quit Me, copy the code for on button press, go into settings, button press, we'll change that now. For settings, and what this will do, I'm just going to put a note here. Unhide settings UI. Right. Ah, this is the wrong. That's the wrong code. I want launch settings rather than just the settings. Launch settings menu. There we go. Okay, see you soon. Let's save everything. We'll go over back here to the settings button. And we'll go into launch settings menu on button press. So that is basically plumbing these two parts together. Now, if we look at the console and we get it to run again. Now when I hit settings, make sure I'm all before settings, after settings. So we know that the settings button is working now. That is cool. Next step is we are going to create a menu for the various colors. But before we do that, let's fix a little oversight we had in the settings. Right, let's go into the project, go into the set. Actually, we can just go like that. Go into settings. One of the reasons we use all of these things is we can very quickly change them because we can't use the backgrounds. We can't actually color the backgrounds and it doesn't make sense, so we can just remove those, which simplifies the code, and I'll have a slight follow through there. Now, what we want to do now, it's going to add a window. Yeah. Not sure where they went to. I guess they weren't interested. Let's pull up. Let's see what we can do. Into the canvas. We'll create a 2D object. Or is it a 3D object? What we need is another... Oh, we need another frame. That's what we want. UI. And... it's a panel. But not that big. Let's shrink that down. And this panel is where our settings will live. So we'll call that panel. We'll add, oops, daisy. Add a button at the bottom. Sort of a mix. I've experimented a little bit with Unity, but this is the first time I've used it for a large project, or any project apart from sort of like just fiddling around and pushing buttons. So we'll call this, okay, we'll set the text in it to be okay as well. What's the text got to? Why am I so blind, apart from the obvious reason that I am going blind? Ah, because it's there. So I'll set that to OK. And we'll runtime only. Game object. Remove that. So we'll have it send a message to the actual the panel called OK, or actually the panel called settings. So settings, and when it goes to settings, and I want to hide it, so set active boolean, and that should set it to off. So let's try that. We'll run it, and then we go OK, and nothing happens. That's concerning. Is anything coming up in the console? Nope. So go back, look at what went wrong. Runtime only, editor runtime, set active. Is that active? That's the... Okay. Settings. Ah, okay. We called... What did we call this? Oh, we called this settings panel. And we've got to put that underneath there. Right. So, we're talking to the wrong thing. Settings panel. Game object. Set active. It sets active to off. Let's try that. Excellent. So it will now vanish. If we go to the settings button, I'm just going to rename this one to settings to reduce the possibility that we get confused about what it is. So the neat thing is we don't have to do any complexity here. So we can go settings panel and we go game object, set active, Boolean like that. And now if we have this settings panel by default be hidden, then when we hit settings, the settings come up. When we hit OK, the settings go away. Nice. Let's reveal it again. Now I want to change... I think a little bit later, let's just change the opaque. Well, it's 100% opaque. I'm not sure why it's... Oh, it's sort of see-through. I'm not sure why that's the case, but we'll have to examine that a bit later. Let's fill in the settings that we'll have to have in here. Right, so let's have a look at the settings that we've got. I'm just going to cut and paste these out. Copy. Paste. There we go. That's weird. Didn't it come up? Does it come up in the... Oh, there it is. Right. So, I'm just going to note these down as text inside of the panel. So, add a new UI in. Here's text. So, we have super chat colors. That doesn't look very clear, does it? Let's boost up the size of that. Say 30. Yep, that's the code. Now the text has vanished. What if why does changing the font size cause the text to vanish? That's super weird. Text. Is it a wrap or... Ah, there. Okay. So that's slightly bigger than I want. So we had 30 and we had 15. So we're going go halfway between it. 20. That's better. Super chat colors. Then the next thing we have got to do, duplicate that. We'll bring it down. So the next chat color is owner. Actually, we won't say colors, we'll just say super chat. Text. So super chat, because these will all be colors. So super chat. This will be owner. And we'll duplicate it again. And this one will be the next thing, which I think is verified. I think that's just people who actually have sort of like a check mark in YouTube. Verified. Member. Some of these will be hard to test because I don't have memberships or any of those things. And so remember the last one we got. Ah, moderator. Actually, I'm thinking we move these around. So member down there. Moderator. Just to like in order of importance. And the final two will be moderator, verified, and whoopsie daisy, normal. What we want to do is probably set the background color of these, but we can deal with that a little bit later. Yeah, basically anybody who is not verified, is not a member, is not a moderator, not an owner, and it's not a super chat. So the default color. Right. And beside these, we're going to have text entry fields. So, go over here. We will create Another UI. What do we have for text entry fields? Input field, that's it. There we go. But for super chats, we're going to have something different. So this will be for owner, for the moderator, for the member, for verified, and for normal. We might change that name because it's a bit, it is a bit ambiguous. Oh, that's cool. So let's rename this one. I'll scroll out a bit. So we'll rename the fields here. Owner. Moderator. The thing is, you quickly lose track of things if you don't make sure to name things, because it's a really handy thing to have. So let's see if there is a way. Transition color tint, text font. On value changing, add runtime only. So we'll link it to settings, select object, and now where is settings? There it's settings. Settings, no function, monoscript. Why aren't I able to tell it to just set the monoscript names? I want it to change the actual settings there. Can I cut and can I just pull this into here? Yeah, excellent. So settings, excellent. Right. Now we've got to find send message. I'm trying to find how to set the value inside of it. Send message, no. Boolean, static parameter, send message, tag, broadcast. That's weird. I thought it would have some sort of useful ability to sort of punch through the object and set those values, but it doesn't. Right, so we're going to have some. Hello, Kuro X. How are you today? I am going quite well at the moment. And I am thanking everybody who is talking in chat and creating test data for me. So, broadcast message. There's not a... So what we're going to have to do is add some code to this settings module. And go into the settings module. Which is public That wasn't what I wanted to do. On settings change. And I'll take a string color and a string, gotta say color and property. Oh, we can't do that, so string property. Right. This is a bit of a hack, but let's swap these around. Right. Save this. Save all. Now, let's see if when we go to that, now, game object, sorry, settings, we have, should have the on, that new setting we added. Where is it? Test settings. Why are we not seeing the actual setting we added? Are we even looking at the right place? Yeah, we cut and pasted it in, didn't we? So, send message upwards. Oh, it wants a void, doesn't it? On value changed. Because it's taking a single string. Okay. That makes it a little bit more work. So, color. Let's save this again. Save all. There we go. Now, game object. Settings. On settings changed. So yeah, it needs that single value. That makes the code a little bit more convoluted, but not much. Okay. So I'll call this one set owner. And we'll go right. I am quite well. What do you mean a new board? So set owner. You always say, people say all kinds of things. Dot author foreground equals color. This is for, see how I'm displaying chat in the background behind me? This is a way to automate that and make it do it a lot more cleaner. That. There we go. Set. And basically what I'm working on at the moment is the code to set the display colors. Yeah, that makes sense. Set verified. So I've got verified member. The next one. Right. Set member. Just got a couple more of these to do. Set moderator. Could be. And normal. There we go. Right. Save that. Now, when we run it now, if we set, say, normal to be... Oh, I can't actually type in here. It's for some reason read only. That's confusing. I already realized that it wouldn't display the default settings because I was going to set that up later. So let's see if we... Oh, one of the things I forgot to do is add all the settings now that we have them. Could be a different mark though, unless you've remembered what his player profile PFP looks like. And we go. So Let's fix up the game object. So settings. This one is set owner. And here on value changing. Actually, we shouldn't do that. We should do it on end edit. So bring the settings across. Settings. Set owner. Next one. Fortunately, a lot of this work is repeating stuff. Set moderator. Not sure why it has a blank space there. So I would assume that it would have set the set member. I would assume it would be setting it to the value that we put in. So all right, go to verified. It's the next one. Add that. Settings. Settings. Set verified. And normal. And settings. Set normal. Let's then go back here, look through all the other settings, see if there's anything obvious that I've missed that's going to make it read only. So text field. Interactable, yes. Color graphics, normal color, navigation, character limit 0, which normally means infinite. Or it could mean, let's say 10. See if that changes anything. Placeholder text. Okay. Let's try this again. I can click on it, but I can't type anything in. Okay. And quit doesn't work here, but it's fine. Now, why aren't I able to type into it? But I am able to click on it. So, yeah, they are interesting. Navigation automatic. That's weird. You'd think if I set it to read only, it wouldn't be able to read. Should activate on select. Right. Placeholder. Text. Text component. No, that's just... I am wondering why it's also weird that the things aren't quite aligned up. Right. These have come out of alignment somehow. Yeah, I'll fix that up. Let's consult Google. Unity text field cannot type. There. This is basically how all programmers work out how to do things. Right, text field. Turn ground can't. The same problem. The font size was too big. Had a placeholder set to 14 and a text size 16. Displayed when I wrote it in. Perhaps that would help. Okay. So our current text here is, how big is the current text that we use for owner? So owner has, no, that text. Pop that out. That's 20. And here the font placeholder says 14. So let's cut that down to 7. And this down to 7. See if that helps. That is right. Let's go. And that works. Let's say blue. Okay. What happens? But it does not change the color to blue. And that zoomed in strangely as well. So some of it's working, but it's not making the changes. So let's see if anything came up in the console. It's replaced with Unicode character, blah, blah, blah. Nope. So blue, but nothing. And no error messages. So what we'll do is we'll go into the code for the settings. And we go settings. Where are we? assets, settings. So we'll do the same thing we did for the quit me button. We'll copy that. I'm curious what that'll do. It just gets completely ignored. And probably will get ignored on the... Oh, that's not what I want to do. Probably get ignored on the set owner on when we display it on the screen as well, because we're not actually rendering HTML through there. Now we've got set owner. Let's see if that actually gets called. Save. And we run. Look at the console. We're not seeing any. That's interesting. We don't see actually anything getting called there. Right. So let's have a look at the documentation. For this field thing. So when does this on edit end edit get called, and when does the so Unity on edit. So the Unity event call when editing has edited. Checks if there's anything. Lock input. That doesn't help. There we go. Add listener. Focus the lock input. How does it, what does it regard as editing has ended? Input field. Okay. Turn this label into an asterisk, character color, keyboard type, multi-line. It's ended on valid. Placeholder. Empty graphic show. Note this empty graphic still displays even when the input was selected. Selection color. The endpoint of selection. Text. Activate. deactivate. Right. Now P, move text ed, move there. Being dragged, deselect on drag. All really interesting things, but doesn't tell me why it doesn't do that. That's okay. The truth is, nobody really understands coding. All we do is check it on the look at things up on the web and then copy that into our own code. And over time, you sort of like develop a massive collection of solutions to various things. And then you just make use of that, all those solutions, and apply them in new situations. But what I've got at the moment is basically a should activate and select, read only, hide mobile input, selection color. Basically a situation where I'm going to have to do a bit more research into how Unity handles text input to work out how to fix this problem, because I have come to because I think I've come to a roadblock at the moment. So I'm going to do a bit more research offline, and tomorrow I won't be streaming because I have to go into the hospital, but it's not anything major, and I will continue on the day after that. And what I'll be playing is, I'll just check my schedule. Yep. I'll be playing Minecraft not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. So I am going to go back to here. And thank you everybody for keeping me company and giving me lots of test data to work with. It's always fun to have you join me for when I'm working on things like this. And I will see you in 2 days' time. Thank you very much.